Right, hello there. This is not a ranking video first of all, but I will be ranking this album eventually when I get to it. I still have yet to do Definitely Maybe, so it'll be a while. But anyway, I just really wanted to talk about Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, my favourite Oasis album from the 2000s, and you guys seem to wanted me to talk about it as well, so here we are. So basically, there are a few main reasons why it's the best Oasis album of the 2000s, and of course, we're going to get into those right now, actually. I've got nothing to ramble on about, so buckle up, get some popcorn or whatever you want. Please do like, subscribe, and let's get into why Standing on the Shoulder of Giants is the best 2000s Oasis album and is criminally underrated.
About chart positions and sales figures, it's been about the fans, and if the fans like the record and we make enough money and we still have the enthusiasm after this 7-month tour to say, are we all still friends, do we still want to make another album? And if the answer is yes, then it's, it's a successful record. I mean, I don't care how much it sells, I don't really give a shit, none of us do.
As you, just heard, Fucking in the Bushes is quite possibly the best opening track of an Oasis album for me, only rivaled by maybe Rock and Roll Star on Definitely Maybe, and Sorry Not Hello on Morning Glory. I actually don't like that song that much, I'm sorry. Anyway, the drums in the intro are just so cool, man, they're so just in your face, I love them to bits, man, but if I remember correctly, I think they're a sample, or they're just nicked from a Jimi Hendrix song. I think it's Little Miss Lover? I don't know. But anyway, the main guitar riff on there, I love that main guitar riff. It's just so fucking cool. It's awesome, man. And that guitar solo, it kind of has like a Stairway to Heaven feel to it, like the solo from Stairway to Heaven. You can never go wrong with nicking a bit from Led Zeppelin. Also, the snippets of audio you get right at the start and at the end from the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970. Oh man, love that part. The most famous one used is the head promoter of it, Ricky Farr, basically just fucking scolding the audience for breaking in, breaking the rules down and all that shit. Here's that clip, by the way.
We put this festival on, you bastards, with a lot of love. We worked for 1 year for you pigs. And you want to break our walls down? And you want to destroy it? Well, you go to hell!
And fun fact there, I believe the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970 was Jimi Hendrix's last major performance in the UK. It may have been his last ever, but I'm not sure, man. Anyway, I have digressed slightly there. It's a great opening track, and the album only gets better from there. It's fucking great. Anyway, that's enough about the opening track. Let's get on to the second reason why it's the best album of the 2000s, which I admit is a bit vague. Bear with me on this one. See, I told you it's a bit vague, and it is sort of general, but I really couldn't think of any other way to put it. It's a bit of a longer section, so I'll put a timestamp on the screen right now. There we are. Just so you can skip forward and get like a vague summary. But anyway, the track after Fucking in the Bushes is Go Let It Out, which was the first single released for the album, and it's probably the closest they got to sounding like a modern version of the Beatles. In my opinion, that is, and I'm pretty sure Noel Gallagher said the exact same thing in an interview somewhere.
It's the first time we ever got close to sounding like a modern day Beatles, I think.
which is what we were striving for years and years and years.
But anyway, it's a great track. It's a rockin' tune as well, but it's not like over the top rockin', like, you know, Bring It On Down, Rock and Roll Star, Morning Glory and all that. It's sort of like more chilled out. Basically, that could describe the whole album, to be fair. The next track after this one is Who Feels Love, which admittedly is a bit weak on the album, but it does shine when it's played live. It has like this really cool psychedelic feel to it, and it's not the only track that has a slightly psychedelic feel. Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is, honestly the weakest track, and yes, I am aware what track comes after this one. It's okay, but it's just mid, mate. It just feels kind of off, if you know what I mean. The mood and the energy is just sort of not there. It sort of just sounds like an okay BDI track, but I don't know, that's just me, you know.
Little James, we're all the same.
Now here's an actual masterpiece. Panic is a fucking stellar tune, man. It's probably my favourite song on the album, and I think I actually go on about this song longer than other songs. Fucking hell, I got a bit of a lisp there. Anyway, yeah, no, I think I go on about this longer than most of the songs here, but anyway, yeah. I would admit Gas Panic is better live, but it doesn't stop it from being great on the album. This is the other track which has a really psychedelic feel to it, and it's probably executed the best here. Though I have to say, Go Let It Out was done pretty well too. That sort of has a almost psychedelic feel behind it. But I'd argue this is a better tune than Go Let It Out by far. It easily has the best melody and build-up, and also an interesting story behind it. As far as I know, it was written by Noel Gallagher about like a cocaine-induced panic attack he was experiencing, which are, you know, one of many he would experience in the late 90s before quitting cocaine, and fears he died of a fucking heart attack. Anyway, that got a bit dark, and it does make you wonder, where did it all go wrong? Okay, I'm sorry for that like cheeky little thing there, but I couldn't help myself. Where Did It All Go Wrong is probably my second favourite track on the album, only tied with the album closer, Roll It Over. And there is a beautiful acoustic, what the fuck? There's a beautiful acoustic version on Later with Jules Holland. Really underrated tune, I love it, man. It's one of those songs where like, I don't know how to put it, like most Oasis songs have a sort of like hope to them. But this is actually a pretty bleak tune. It's not a bad tune, but it's just sort of like, it doesn't have that bit of hope to it, which generally you'd think would sort of, you know, hinder its performance, or I don't know, you know what I mean, but it doesn't really suffer from that at all. It's just a great tune you just stick on and just listen to. It's such a great track, and I absolutely love the thing. Anyway, onwards. Sunday Morning Call is also in sort of a similar position, but I do like it less than the last track. It does have a bit more hope to it, you could say. But hey, I mean, even Noel Gallagher hates this one, so I'm allowed to hate it, right?
Thank God that's over. What was the next one off this? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, I fucking hate this next tune. I really fucking hate it. Oh, this is shite.
Probably. I mean, if you like it, I respect you, but it's just sort of like, I don't see how it could be your favourite song off the album, especially when you got like Gas Panic, Roll It Over, Where Did It All Go Wrong, fucking Little James, but I don't know. You do you know. Next track, I Can See a Liar, brings us back to a more rock and roll feel. I personally love it, man. It's just a shame because the mix is a little bit weird, specifically the vocals, which is a shame because Liam sings this quite well. And I also think the guitar should have been more prevalent and maybe slightly louder, because the drums are just way too loud as a consequence in comparison to the rest of the mix. Though this problem is generally limited to the first verse, so I can kind of look past it, you know. Now Now here's another fucking borderline masterpiece, Roll It Over, which is so good it's the only track from Standing on the Shoulder of Giants which is being consistently played live by the two brothers. Well, one of the brothers. It really is such a good track, but surprisingly and quite sadly, honestly, they never played it live or once as Oasis as far as I know. It wasn't played until Liam began singing it, and that was only like, what was it, a year ago or something? Which is just mad to me. Honestly, it's such a good track. I don't get why you wouldn't play it. It's like, you know, just like it has a great atmosphere to it, and it's so good live, man. Don't get it. It's an amazing closing track as well, I have to say. Anyway, that section was a little bit long, so here's a summary for anyone who skipped ahead. Basically, Gas Panic, Where Did It All Go Wrong, and Roll It Over make this album at least a 7 out of 10 by themselves, and the other songs boost it up to at least an 8.5 out of 10. The only bad song is Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. And Little James, I'm sorry. Alright then, on to the next section. Fucking finally. God. Sorry, I'm just so tired and I keep on saying the wrong things. Honestly, I developed a fucking lisp earlier and oh, Christ. So this tour starts off amazingly, in my opinion, with Liam's voice being in just top form, and the rest of the band, despite recent changes, playing pretty well too. The first gig of the tour, according to Wikipedia, was on the 3rd of December 1999 at the First Union Centre in Philadelphia, which was an okay gig, but it doesn't include any Sotsog tracks, and it's basically just a warm-up gig, and which makes sense. You know, the first single hadn't even been released yet. I'd say the tour properly started with their gig on the 29th of February at the Yokohama Arena, which was a fucking great gig, man. Included tracks like Go Let It Out, Who Feels Loved, you know what I mean, interestingly enough, Gas Panic, Roll With It, and Rock and Roll Star, now at the end of the set list. Andy Bell and Gem Archer are still kind of new recruits at the beginning of the tour, but you really couldn't tell from what you hear, as they gel with the Gallagher brothers and Alan White pretty well. The setlist here gets completely revamped with more variety, and the whole tour just has less extravagance than the Be Here Now tour, which, to be fair, is a good thing. And one more thing to note is that generally from this point forward, Stand By Me and You Know What I Mean are basically the only Be Here Now tracks that are played live, which is probably down to the fact that Noel Gallagher hates Be Here Now, which is fair enough, I suppose. You wouldn't really like something you did when you're off your fucking head. I don't even know if he remembers fucking doing it, because he was on coke the whole time. But anyway, I digress. The tour would go pretty smoothly until Noel Gallagher quit the tour and refused to play any gigs outside the British Isles in about May of 2000, leaving Matt Dayton to fill in for him overseas until he fully rejoined the band, if you will, after the tour had ended. Now, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not certain, that this was because of a very famous incident in Barcelona. You see, the drummer Alan White, he couldn't drum because of tendinitis or fucking whatever, fucking weak hands, so they had to cancel a gig. So of course, Liam and Noel Gallagher go out drinking in Barcelona. Now, I'm pretty sure what happened is that, well, of course, they're both drunk. Liam Gallagher was questioning the legitimacy of Noel Gallagher's daughter, Anais, and I think Noel Gallagher basically got on top of him, fucking split his lip, beat him up, then just fucked off. Which is fair enough, you know, questioning the legitimacy of your child, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why Noel Gallagher left the tour. I'm not sure though, I'm pretty sure it was. Anyway, this all led up to probably the two most famous gigs of the tour, which happened one after the other. Of course, I'm referring to the first and second night at Wembley Stadium. With the first night, yeah, no, it was a genuinely good gig. You know, good performances across the board. Liam sounding all right. Smooth sailing. The second night was interesting, to say the least.
This is for Bob Geldof. This is for fucking Simple Minds. This is for all these other fucking idiots who start. But I'm glad you made it. Fucking Live Aid. I bet you wish it was fucking free and all. By the way, could I just say peace and love to every single person in the whole stadium. Thank you very much. This one's called Go Let It Out. Says lazy ass, he's been sat on his back for a year. Have some fucking dogs that die in and out of it, in and out of show business like that. In and out of it. I ain't no fucking celebrity. I ain't no fanny. I ain't no dickhead, man. I'm a rock star. I'm a fucking ass at that. I'm fucking
realise I'm playing Wembley Stadium, and I'm doing it with my mates. It's got time some fucking excitement up in this fucking shithole ground.
But regardless, the tour kept on going, with Liam's voice just starting to deteriorate more and more, sounding, growlier and deeper, but also more nasal at times, which will eventually turn into his Heathen Chemistry era voice. But even the later gigs in the tour have some iconic moments, and one specific gem of a gig being the Rock in Rio appearance in 2001, which I think is just fucking mega. It was probably the last time Liam's vocals sounded anywhere near as good as they once did. I believe it was like part of a, was it 10 Years of Noise Confusion tour? Yeah, it was like a 10-year anniversary. But anyway, here's a clip of that gig, because it's fucking great. See? Amazing. Well, in my opinion. But anyway, that pretty much sums up the tour. Liam's voice would sadly never really get to the same level as it did before and during this tour, so say goodbye to the sunshine and say hello to the sunshine, Kermit the Frog. Fucking hell. Anyway, yeah, his voice just kind of deteriorated after this and eventually would go into the quote-unquote Kermit phase. Anyway. Alright, that's all I have for Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. If you like this kind of video, then, I'll happily do it more. I'd love to do this for, definitely maybe fucking, I'd even do Don't Believe the Truth, actually. That could be an interesting one. But anyway, if you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. The next video should be a ranking and review of Definitely Maybe, so watch out for that. Anyway, I'll be off. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day, and goodbye.